Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Good morning. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama. Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah. So Lalita was reading this morning. It was really a nice part of the Chaitanya Mangal. So that's so Narada Muni. I don't know if anybody's heard her reading or heard the story, but Narada Muni wanted to come and check out Kali Yuga and see what the problem was here, because he a liberated soul. So he comes here and he wants to rout Kali, uh, chase Kali away from the material world. So he's chanting Hare Krishna, and he goes into ecstasy, like you see here, this kind of ecstasy. Same thing, laughing, crying, this kind of fantastic stuff. But nobody's accepting. People are all absorbed in the material world. Nobody's accepting. It's like this. There on Facebook when I wake up in the morning, these devotees, they come on. They have to put their little statuses up. And this morning here, the status was, "I feel like I'm an orphan." This is one Mataji, one woman. "I feel like I'm an orphan. I even go to ISKCON. I still feel like an orphan." And I think, this people, yeah, you're right, man. You are an orphan. I said, yeah, we were accepting orphans on our doorstep. But whether people get it or not. See, so many devotees, they're sort of born, but they're babies, they're children, and they need to grow up. And that's why Prabhupada wrote the books. See, so these orphans, everybody is actually an orphan until you come back to the home. Especially a lot of people they want Krishna, like this woman. She wants Krishna, and this is actually a good sign. You go to ISKCON, you feel like an orphan. I always felt that. I didn't feel like I couldn't relate to this. Dude, what's going on here? I came here for Krishna. What are you giving me? Some ceremonies and lots of rules of religion. I never liked religion in the first place. So anyway, she's like that. And where do I go? Where do I go? See, blind. Still, they're young and blind. Still blinded. And they don't know where to go. And even if you tell them, it's hard for them to believe because they're babies, young. So this is like the story. That's why, here, whoever is fortunate, they come and they listen. See, Narada Muni still, with all his chanting, it didn't rout Kali. See? He called Lord Chaitanya to come. See? And so Lord Chaitanya came. Lord Chaitanya did something a little different. People think, oh, we just chanted in ecstasy, which they don't appreciate, which they don't really care about. Oh, we just chanted in ecstasy. They don't know what this ecstasy is, even though they read about it. Okay? No, Lord Chaitanya didn't just chant in ecstasy. Chaitanya Charitamrita is all about his teachings. He would chant in ecstasy in South India, and then he would teach how, like this, exactly like this. He would tell and glorify this bhakti cult and how glorious it is to chant Hare Krishna in ecstasy that he was doing, that we are doing. Are we not following in his footsteps? And then it worked. That's why it's working here. See? People are coming. Not the droves of them, because most of them are dashed like this lady. well, maybe she'll get through, maybe not. Depends if she's willing to listen and hear and get purified of all the crap she heard about in religion. It's crap, man. Bullshit. It's bullshit, not cow shit. Bullshit. And it's not real Krishna consciousness yet. It's only a start. That's why she feels like, why do you feel like an orphan if you come into Krishna? I don't feel like an orphan. I feel like I've been saved. I feel like I've got a family. She could do that too. And the same thing with so many other ISKCON devotees or Gaudiya Math and Gaudiya Smriti. If you really came for Krishna, you should feel like an orphan, because that ain't home. None of it. I didn't feel that home is not even in the Gaudiya Smriti. You think that's home. It's still rituals and rules and no authentic relationship with the Transcendental Lord, which is shown here. See, shown, demonstrated. To show who your real father and mother are. They're here. People don't know this. See, that's why Prabhupada wrote the books for this time. People need to learn this. So otherwise, see, what happens is, Tuka, all right, great. Here you go, come on. So otherwise, what happens, yeah, mute your mic, I'm in the middle of something. Thanks. Yeah, what happens is Kamsa, who is the representative of hypocritical devotional service. There's Puta, everything. He's all the demons. They work through him. So that's Kali Yuga. You got to get through them, and that's why there's go through the narrow gate, Jesus. That's the devotee, man. That's the realized soul. That's the one who shows you Vrindavan. That's the one who preaches the real Vrindavan. That's the only gate to get through. Otherwise, Kamsa's right there. Hypocrites. That's the Pharisees, right? Didn't Jesus call them the hypocrites? The hypocrite. They say they can't help it. It's just with their nature. They just under that influence. But if you really want Krishna, you got to find that narrow gate. That narrow gate is the authentic devotee that shows you what Vrindavan is and teaches you about the real Vrindavan and the process of getting there. Yeah. Otherwise, you're an orphan and you'll stay an orphan. You ain't going to get out of here. All I can do is just, you can just preach the word and the message and the door, and people either come in or they don't. If you believe in Kamsas, you still, even though you feel like an orphan and you go to ISKCON, why are you still believing in those persons? They're orphans themselves. Everybody's cut off in this material world until you're like a Narada Muni. Not Narada Muni, like him. You chant the holy name with great ecstatic devotion, like Lalita Ganga does. She's not of this world. She's of the spiritual world and bringing it to these fools of this world. This is how it works. That's why you have to hear. He says, so Lord Chaitanya, he went to South India and he was ecstatic like here. And then he also preached the cult and to teach, hey man, this is very wonderful. This is important. This is the symptoms of salvation and more. You can get free of birth and death. Just come and associate with devotees. Take this Bhakti Lata Beach. Chant this name and welcome the ecstasy. Welcome the ecstatic devotees. Come into the family. Otherwise, you'll just be an orphan. Somebody should pass this video to that woman. Maybe it'll wake her up. But that's how it is. Otherwise, there are a lot of people looking for Krishna, but they're young in their bhakti. They're like bhakti babies, And so Kamsa's right there, the abode of religion and hypocrisy, hypocritical worship of God, like the popes. These big pedophiles become popes. See, these are your leaders. We have even in the Hare Krishna movement, we had pedophiles, murderers, and all this as leaders. Unbelievable. But that's how it is. Always, it's religion. The elites who are like, they're crafty. It's snakes. They have crafty intelligence. See, They know about get into influential places. Who's going to get you through? See, all they do is murder. They murder your bhakti and sometimes your bodies. You know? That's all Maya does is kill. That's what she's here to destroy. You know, it's especially now in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is Shiva, right? Shiva destroys. Oh boy, she's big destruction stuff going on, and it's yeah. So where is the only way out? You have to become part of the spiritual family. Yeah, really. I mean, that's really it. Look, this is working so nicely. People are starting to get this. That's why I say this is a great preaching time. It gets people like seriously looking, you know, because if you feel like an orphan, you go to ISKCON. That's actually a great sign. You're lucky. Krishna's saying, you know, that vibe isn't for you now. You're ready to move on. So that's that's the preaching you do. You know, please share with people. Share with people on Facebook boldly. Why not? You know, what do you got to lose? You got everything to gain, you know. Where Krishna says there's no one more dear to me than a preacher. You know, because it's so you're saving Krishna in a sense. You know, baby Krishna in the world, especially amongst devotees here. That's why I didn't give up on ISKCON. I don't. You know, they think I'm offensive to Narayan Raj and all you. They have no idea. I'm here to liberate you fools out there, you know. And you're fools. And if you don't like it, man, that's because you're false ego. I'm a fool too, but I know my mission. You know, a fool that knows their mission. Watch out, man. They're foolish enough to accomplish it amidst vast armies of illusions. It's like Jesus. He was foolish enough to go on with his preaching, but look where he is now. Say he was the way, the life, and the truth. He was the narrow gate, man, and it was right. It's true. You especially at that time, you were. Hare Krishna, we should be back. Hare Krishna. It comes and goes sometimes. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. All right, so so Lord Chaitanya came and he demonstrated the ecstasy and also preached because people need knowledge. See, it's Sat Chit and Ananda. See, so you got to be the eternal body has to awaken. And then you have to have the Ananda, and then it reveals the knowledge so that when you look at the scriptures, which were written by those who had the Ananda, then you can understand them. You can interpret them properly as they are. See, without the speculation. Like another thing, I was watching Karuna's video, and it's good, he's got his style, and people were coming, and some people like that. Like this one guy says, "Oh, this is as good as Gohari's." No, not as well. We didn't say quite as good, but almost as good. I mean, that's good, So because he's got his style, and so this one guy was come there. He came online and he's talking and telling, "Yeah, I like to take a little here and a little there from this path and from that path, and like this." And that's people are like that. This what we're doing. You got to understand. Not everybody is ready to just take things as they are. They're in that. Take a little here, a little that. Try this and try that. It's a smorgasbord. And so anyway, until they are, you just do the best you can and honor. You got to honor people too where they're at. You can't, especially when you start to you make friends with people, and get figure out where they're coming from, and also share. Share. Let them share. You share, and whatever Krishna desires. If they see by your example that, wow, this is, maybe I should check this out. Maybe I should try that. The pen. Yeah, because it is specific here. I'm not interested in speculating. I'm not interested anymore in trying this and trying that and all these things. Because this to me is the arrival. The arrival is the pinnacle of all the studies and everything. It's just chanting this Hare Krishna and relishing this relationship and ecstasy and intimacy, and preaching about it, sharing with the world, to attract them, because Krishna is the all attractive one, and there is a process. It's simply by hearing from those who are experienced devotees of Vrindavan. They've achieved the desired result, which is simply this. And hearing from them, you get purified of all the speculation. You realize, the speculation is a hindrance. See, and I don't need it. I don't need it to be happy. See, the happiest devotees are the ones who just relish what the Lord says. See, and you get that relish, or what the devotees write, but you get that by purification. You have to hear from those who do deeply relish the words of the Lord, and that vibration purifies you. That word, see, that's the word of God. See, word of God means God is transcendental. See, it's a transcendental vibration. It only comes through the flutes. See, the godly flutes. See, the ones who've played Krishna's song. See, song of truth. See, ecstatic vibration. See? So that's very specific in that way. So however long it takes you to arrive at, you can't get out this way, that way, this way. You got to go through the door. The door is the vibration of the devotee preaching. Christians need to know this more. They still think, it's only Jesus, only Jesus. But a lot of times they don't know it's because of their preaching if they're a real Christian. People pick up your vibration of being a real authentic representative. See? Otherwise, Christ is not preached. That's why Jesus told Peter, he says, I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom. See, you, because of your faith in a living person. That's why the test is always the living preacher who comes to preach. That's why no one is more dear to Krishna than a preacher. That's why they stay. The devotees here will be remembered because they're actually authentic preachers of the transcendental sound vibration. That's why Paul is remembered, wasn't he? He was a Holy Spirit-filled person. And he wrote, his writings have weight, impact. They give sustenance to real devotees. That begins you when the person is ready and they hear from a real devotee. That gets you able to pick up where the transcendental vibration is and where it isn't. Okay? A lot of people are infatuated with with the false representatives. That's why they call them. See, there's always in this preaching false prophet. See, real prophet, false prophet. See? False acharya, real acharya. See? False Krishna, real Krishna. See, the Pundraka was the false Krishna. And then the real Krishna was in Dwarka. See, lucky he was alive. Well, he's always alive, of course, but he was manifest. See, therefore people can understand. Otherwise you can't understand. Millions of people thought Pundraka was the real Krishna. He was a very good imitator. Just like these guys, every friggin' one of them is such a good imitator. No, some are good and some stink at their imitation. They're imitating the real acharya or the real spiritual master, but they're really not. See, who can pick that out? Only when the real thing is here. You notice Krishna was here and they could discern it. Also, a real devotee was here of Krishna. Who was that? Sudan. Out of millions of people, he was like this kind of preaching here, saying it's always the same. Out of this kind of preaching, he was not fooled. At this kind of situation, he wasn't fooled. He knew personally the real Krishna. And these millions of fools didn't. They thought, no, the false Krishna. It's no different than here. I know the real Acharya. I know Prabhupada was bona fide. And I know who isn't. That's what I got from my guru. Okay? That's why he was one of those who preached. Everybody believed, oh, the God brothers are as good as you. No, they're different. There's a difference being specially empowered and just being an ordinary follower in traditions. And they think that way. They think like a traditionalist, just like these gurus. They think like a traditionalist. They're in a box still. Oh, what's he? No net beads, all the way up to Narayana. Oh, no net beads, no net beads. It's all no net beads. We're externally looking. Unbelievable. But anyway, that's how good Putana was good in Vrindavan, didn't she? Looked like a real devotee, but she killed all the babies, all the baby bhaktas. Hey, my students that went to him, their bhakti was finished and still finished. I had to get out of there eventually so I can come back, recover. The same thing with Radhakund Babaji's. They killed my bhakti. And I got to get out of there to come back. Anyway, whoever wants to get through, if you believe in this preaching, you come, you'll see this works, man. People you really want Krishna? This is what it looks like. People who've got Krishna, they're ecstatic when they chant the holy name. Otherwise, Putana is right out there to kill you and kill your bhakti, not your body. Your body will survive. My ex-wife's body's still around, but her bhakti's finished, man. You could see she's crooked thinking. She even admits, I just can't believe in it. See, you've lost complete faith by associating with garbage. That's garbage to a devotee, man. Whenever your bhakti, is another student's also gone. In those things, that's not the real thing. That's the Putana obstacle everywhere, except the narrow gate, the door. And if you still believe in that, well, stay in it, Foolish enough, you spend your whole life. They spend their whole lives and they don't get the real bhakti. It's all in their minds. It's just a big fantasy. And the real thing is right before them, they can't see. It's unbelievable. It's like that crying school in Mayapur. There's no crying. It's the stupidest thing. Come on, wake up, world. What, you go to a crying school, Gaur Govinda, and there should be some crying, but we don't do that. That's hypocrisy. That is a lie. Or you go to Narayan Raj or the Radhakund Babaji's, or they're supposed to be Raganuga Bhaktas with spontaneous devotees, but there's no spontaneous devotion. What kind of baloney are you believing in, man? You don't like this priest? Too bad. Too bad for you. Somebody's got to spank your little bottom. So it's unbelievable because this didn't work. You see that here I've been chanting in ecstasy for 25 years, and Narayan Raj is still devotee, still resistant, stubborn, donkey demons, all in them still. The donkey's stubborn. I don't care. I'll take many lifetimes before I don't want to drink this bhakti now. I don't care. Because pride is bhakti. No, it ain't. Being a big sannyasi is not bhakti. Being a big guru is not bhakti. Look at this. I got everything, man. And I don't even have to dress up. Those guys got to work their butt off to dress up to impress people. I don't even have to take a shower. I just put on a t-shirt and turn the camera on. And they call me Paramahamsas and Parvajakacharyas and all that stuff. Isn't that amazing? What is Krishna trying to teach the world here? Huh? He's trying to teach what Jesus taught. Always the same. Guru is one, same teaching. We're here back again with the same teaching. Seek the kingdom of God and all else is added to you, man. I got the kingdom of God is this, man, this chanting and my relationship with the transcendental Lord. And look, everything comes. He's a divine grace and all this and Shrilas and all that. Nobody will even dare to put that name, Srila. You know, you want to do a search on Facebook for Gora, all you have to do is put Srila Gora, and it's the only one that'll come up because no one would dare to put that. I put it because you guys gave it. You guys said you're Srila, so okay, I'll take the name. I accept. Just like Prabhupada. His disciples gave the name, you take Prabhupada. He said, okay, I'll take the name Prabhupada. And his god brothers didn't like it. Why? Because they're not qualified. You know? Yeah, titles, all that stuff, whatever is useful for preaching. You know, I think it's very useful. People should, get used to it. The Lord is here. He's working in our Sangha. He's working through my followers and friends here. You know, this is the family you're looking for, you little orphans out there, little orphan Annies. Get your big fannies over here, man. We got the nannies you're looking for. Otherwise, the nanny out there, Mr. Biden's going to go after you, or George Soros. He's dying to be a nanny for you guys. He wants to be a nanny. I was listening to George Soros speaking, or is it Klaus Schwab? No, him, Carl Schwab. He's a very interesting character, man. He's like so blatant, man. He's just like telling people like it is. It's unbelievable. And they just, oh yeah, you're going to comply because, hey man, we're here to serve. We're servants of the Lord. And if you don't serve the Lord's transcendental potency, you're going to serve his Maya. You're going to be forced into compliance because they got all the guns, man. You know? So if people are willing to comply with the order of the Lord, chant Hare Krishna, an association of devotees, come here into the Sangha, you'll get free. Look at these guys can't help you. They're telling you, the gurus are telling you to go get the shots, man. They're a part of that group. They're part of the Carl Schwab's. Even the Dalai Lama, look, he was lining up for his shot too. It's all coming back. The karma is coming back on all these guys. All those, look at the actor. What was his name? Bruce Willis. He's got a neurological disorder now. Oh, just out of the blue, just in the last couple of years, it just came. Neurological. It's one of the side effects of this. It goes through the blood-brain barrier, and you get often neurological. I think he got the booster too. He's one of those promoting before all these things. A lot of people, So that's what you get serving Maya, believing in Maya. It's so great, man. The association of devotees is the door. Really, I can't believe it. People say, well, we're orphans, but they won't come here and come into the family of Krishna. Isn't that what you came to Krishna consciousness for? To come into the family of Krishna? Yeah. So here it is. Well, Krishna's answering your prayer, man. I'm stoked, man. I got a real family, to while I'm here in this world that's getting like really dark, It's getting light at the same time. We're lightening it up, man. Amy says, we're little orphan Annies and you are Daddy Warbucks. Daddy Warbucks. Who's Daddy Warbucks? Hare Krishna.
But an American.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So anyway, that's some of the things I was musing about. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. You know why it's hard for the devotees to take to this, who are not really devotees yet? They're a boss. Because I point out the truth. See, like she was reading this morning, the only limb in Kali Yuga is the truth. See, that's the only limb you can hold on to. That's why if you come here, you'll get that limb. Otherwise, not. And why people will have naturally, well, if they're part of the world, and most people are, even a part of religion, you have a problem with this preaching because I don't give honor to illusion. Because I'm not here to give honor to illusion. Not in that way. I give, I don't give honor to that which is not truly liberated. I'm here to show where the door is. I'm here to show what is transcendental, teach what is and what isn't. And with most devotees still are attached to what is not transcendental. They're attached to their gurus, their leaders, and it's still not transcendental. Therefore, they have a hard time with this preaching. Because I just preach what is transcendental. I show you what is transcendental. Demonstrate it and preach its glories. See, that's why Krishna and Krishna's devotees, they're the shelter, the helpless, and the hopeless. And that's why it gets very easy when you're really fed up with the world and being bamboozled on every front. Then it becomes so easy. You just I found the door. Let me just go in it. You're not always drawn away by these seemingly impressive things. It's like, the difference between gold and fool's gold. Gold is the real thing, and often there's dirt around it and other things. But gold is gold. It doesn't mix with anything. Okay? So, but pyrite is around the gold. See, that's the false acharya and the real acharya. That's the false guru and the real guru. There's the pyrite there, and then there's the real gold, side by side. Unless the gold isn't manifest, and then all you got is pyrite. That's usually what the world condition is. They don't see any liberator here, so they don't see the gold, so all they got is pyrite. Here's the chance for those who are ready to separate themselves from the pyrite and just stick to the gold. Become part of the gold. It causes division. That's why it's always like this. The real devotees, they cause division. The division, they divide the pyrite and those who have faith in pyrite from the gold and those who have faith in gold. Didn't Jesus say, I came here to cause division? For the ones to take the ones out of the world that God wants out of the world, and leave the ones who doesn't, they're not ready there. So that's that's why everybody has to do, just preach, man. Just share the message, share your passion, share what you believe in. Share, you got a great place on Facebook. You don't have to go anywhere. And those who are meant to hear the message will come. And don't expect droves to come. I mean, how many people are ready to be separated from the illusion they believe in so adamantly? It's their life. But some are like this lady. She feels like an orphan. I was thinking, hallelujah. Finally, somebody's got some sense. Somebody probably really wants Krishna and is not satisfied with that. All you have to do is get them in touch with the real thing. And if they're not too contaminated, they'll stick to the gold. Oh yeah. All the devotees in the temple are only after Mini Lakshmi. They are not after. Yeah, after Lakshmi. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the leaders, they're after money. A lot of leaders in Christianity, you see these televangelists. They're even in their vibration of their voice, it is so commercial. They're after the money, Yeah. A lot of people, they just, that's the world. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama Rama, Hare Krishna Hare. Chapter 5 of Majikanda. Instructions from Ramananda Roy. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Jesus. I'm infected by the germs of material activity, and I'm suffering from the boils of envy. Therefore, falling in an ocean of humility, I take shelter of the great physician, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. I'm infected by the germs of material activity, and I am suffering from the boils of envy. Therefore, falling in a great ocean of humility, I take shelter of the great physician, Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And your people are so fortunate if you find the devotees who have taken shelter of this path, the path of Lord Caitanya. Yeah? The path of relishing his association. Yeah. And this spontaneous love just awakens in the heart. We can't muster this up on our own. It's the path of grace. And the grace, it's like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said in Madhurya Kanda Devi. He said, the grace of Krishna follows the devotee. See, you want the grace of Krishna, you have to find his real devotees. See? If you want the grace of rules and regulations, okay, you find the Vaidhi Bhaktas in the modes of nature, in the mode of, maybe if you're lucky in their mode of goodness, maybe. But if you're lucky, you get the grace of the devotees have spontaneous devotion, and that's what they're here to preach. This is one out of millions. That kind of grace. That's how you get the shelter of that verse. Otherwise, that's why it's always everybody's on the outside, simply because they haven't found a real devotee of Lord Chaitanya and taking shelter there. See, those who are my real those who claim to be my direct devotees are not my real devotees. But those who are the devotees of my devotees are my real devotees. And that's not an ego trip. It's just the truth. Because the Lord comes as that devotee. That's how you know what is Satchidananda. Otherwise, nobody knows. Not in a million lifetimes will you know until you meet a devotee, a real one. Okay? So therefore, when you can recognize, Krishna has come as the spiritual master to me. There you go. Krishna has come through the spiritual master. Yes, this is the real word of God. Is it? Am I saying, what is the real word of God? It's just what's in this darn scriptures as it is. That's it. And that's why only until you can relish it and just be happy with preaching what is and get your life from that, because that's what makes Krishna happy. Just preach what is, but you can't do it on your own. You got to get purified. You got to hear that vibration from a devotee. You got to go through that door. And then that word will come from you. And that's why it's not just about chanting Hare Krishna. Well, it is in the advanced stage. But it's not just about chanting Hare Krishna if you're a preacher. I have to preach like this, otherwise everybody thinks it's crazy. They still think it's crazy. They got to see the knowledge come in here is better than these Jaipatakas and these Acharya Devs and all these guys with the props, with the big, see, those are props, big titles. I mean, they got to see a person with a t-shirt wipes out their whole agenda. For their benefit, of course. This is why people, they thought the Lord was arrogant. Well, it was, but it's transcendental. Arrogant. He just knows what he knows, right? He's just smarter than everybody. There's a guy in the crypto field. This guy is a genius, man. And he knows he knows better than practically anybody I've ever heard from. But everybody thinks he's in false ego. And maybe he is, but still he knows what he knows. And I said, man, I listened, and everybody else is reacting in their false ego. Ooh, how he's so assured, he's so arrogant. Why does he think he knows? They all reacting, and I just take because I said, well, the guy knows. I mean, why can't you just acknowledge that? See, but people are in false ego. It's this false ego that reacts and wants to always be bigger, better, more, wants to be on top, wants to think it's smart. See, it's illusion. Not interested in the truth, the false ego, identified people. You just got to be, and you go to an authority, like Jesus was an authority. You could see the guy, the way he preached. Nicodemus was open to that. He wanted to take the nectar. The Pharisees, they reacted. They thought, who is he? He's so false ego. He's so assured. He's so, authoritative. Who is he? He's arrogant. See? Because they were not interested in truth. Nicodemus was. See? John, James, they wanted the truth. Therefore they came to Jesus. That's why they became saints first. Everybody comes later. See, you guys come here for the truth, right? You come here for the real Krishna. So you get what you want. The others, they think, oh, well, no, we want to be smarter than Gaura Haridas. How can you do that, man? I've been chanting the holy name in this life in ecstasy for years. There's no way you could touch this knowledge. You think this is arrogant. This is truth. There's no way you can understand what I understand. Not even my students. And they're doing great. They're doing amazing. It's just how it is. I can't even, this is the bizarre thing is I can't even understand half the time until it comes out of my mouth.
It's downloaded.
What?
It is downloaded constantly.
Downloaded. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, this is the kind of relationship. I mean, I feel so privileged to have this relationship and to share this with others. You can be the most intelligent person in the world. Not only me, you can be the one also. The one will speak through you. When you realize it's the one, you're just a flute and it's the Lord, then everything's cool, no false ego identification. You realize, we're together in this, Prabhupada used to preach like this. He would say, we are doing this, we. Listen, you go listen to some we, not I, we. Even Krishna, when in the Bhagavatam is written in we sometimes. He says to Rukmini, he's preaching to Rukmini, he's actually, we don't care about anything. We just want to think about God. He's talking about we. We is him, God, and his devotee. That's what they do. They're on the same page. So, yeah. Otherwise, people just react. That's why these gurus, they want to be so smart. They want to be on top. They want to be the smart, and then they want that. Therefore, they get that. They don't get this because this is for those who want God. You'll come here, man. If you want to feel the scriptures, man, you want to relish them. You want this relationship. Ooh, deep ecstasy. Whoa, juicy. So we may not get big numbers right now, but we'll get a number. We got a number already, man. We got a number. See, we got a number. You know how you have a phone number where people can dial you up? We got a number. We got a place. We got Lord Chaitanya's Grace Place, right, Tuka? It's a Lord Chaitanya's Grace Place. We got a number where people can dial us up. See? Oh, is this Lord Chaitanya's Grace? Yes. We're open for business now. Yeah, we've got we're stocked. The shelves are stocked. Yeah, we have plenty of stock here now. Come on in, man. We got truth. Oh, truth. Yeah. The only thing, Kali Yuga, we got that. We're stocked up. The shelves are stocked up with conclusive truth, man, and ecstasy. Just 2 items: conclusive truth and ecstasy. You'll find that the best product, that's the gold, that's the treasure, that's the pearl of great price that Jesus was talking about. Truth and ecstasy. That's all we stock here, just 2 items. That's all you'll see, that you'll get everything from those 2 items. You'll think all this other stuff is a bunch of fluff out there. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Sachi. All glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Indeed, he is the most glorious and merciful. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Advaita, the ocean of mercy, and to all the devotees, such as Swarup Damodar Goswami, Gadadhar Pandit, Sri Rupa Goswami, and Sanatan. Put these on here. Hare Krishna. One day, Praduma Mishra came to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, offering his respects and inquiring from him with great submission. My lord, he said, kindly hear me. I am a cripple-minded householder, the most fallen of men, but somehow by my good fortune I have received the shelter of your lotus feet, which are rarely to be seen. See, the shelter of your lotus feet, that's attraction. Somehow. See, that's proof. If you're a real devotee, you have that attraction. Somehow I have received the shelter of your lotus feet. See? If you don't have that attraction, if spontaneous love and these symptoms do not awaken in your heart when you chant the names of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda and Radha and Krishna, see? You haven't received the shelter yet. See, this is a shelter. This is the Govardhan pastime. You see, Krishna held up Govardhan Hill, which are the pastimes. See, the real Krishna coming through the real devotee, it's like they're holding up Govardhan Hill over you. They're holding up the real pastimes of the Lord, the real philosophy of Krishna consciousness, the real conclusions. See? The real verses, all these verses come to life through that devotee. And that's where the shelter is. You'll feel it. You feel, wow, this is like, relief. You get relief in this hot, this inconclusive world, full of speculations and everything, which just, it's just like all you're pelted all the time by Maya's rain, the rains of Maya. See, you got no shelter, you got no umbrella to keep that off of you. Isn't that a miracle how the truth is so much like that? It's like an umbrella, protection. See, and without attraction to the Lord, you cannot partake of this. You can't come under the shelter. See, so attraction to the Lord is fostered and cultivated in a society of real devotees who have this rare attraction. Somehow or other, I've attained the shelter of your lotus feet. He had love for Lord Chaitanya, just natural love would awaken. If he didn't get this from a devotee in this life, then he got it from previous life. And a lot of his followers were like that. As soon as they met Lord Chaitanya, instant, they felt friendly, affinity, and that just grew and grew and grew. Real devotees are like that. That was what happened to me in this world just by Prabhupada's books and even the Bible. I felt an affinity. This is my tribe. This is where I belong here. I belong with these people. I was so happy. I tell you, man, it was like, wow, I found home. I was an orphan and I found home. Okay? But I didn't know there was something around it. There was these Vaidhi bhaktas, that didn't have such revelation. They were just more following Krishna and the rules and regulations. And that was a bit tough. That close. Somehow to receive the shelter of your lotus feet. Yeah. Well, that's why Krishna says, those who are the devoted. Lord Chaitanya quoted the verse, those who claim to be my direct devotees are not my real devotees. Those who are the devotees of my devotees are my real devotees. And it's just natural. It's not an ego trip. It's if you're attracted here, you're attracted to, what am I preaching? I'm just preaching truth and I'm preaching Krishna. Not everybody is attracted, right? If you like this truth, you're getting transcendental knowledge. If you like this ecstasy, you're getting transcendental feelings. Okay? So who is that? What is that? See, that's Krishna's spiritual potency. It's non-different. It's different in the sense that Krishna comes as guru, but such gurus, they're so surrendered naturally because of purification, not because of some idea. They're just good with being part of the whole, you're part of Krishna, just, oh, there we go with the light again. Let me just turn the regular light on here, which I don't like. Yeah, just being part of Krishna, being his servitor, literally, just to, like the flute, and you see how important the flute is and how important the breath of God is. And the breath of God is looking for an instrument. See, and you can be that. You come here, that's what you're going to be. If you're good with that, then no problem. But if you want to be separate from that, if you want to think no, I'm just a flute and I'm the one, the flute is going to play on its own, then the modes of nature will play you because you have to be played. They'll literally play you and play you as you become a fool. That's what Maya does. Makes you foolish. It makes you lose real knowledge. See, you come under this shelter, the Lord plays his song through you, and I find my shelter in truth. I don't need any shelter, false ego. I have shelter in truth, shelter in this ecstasy. I don't have shelter in speculations of these gurus. They're speculating, all of them, every friggin' one of them still. I haven't found one that I wouldn't say wasn't speculating. That actually made it into this relationship like this. And these are the symptoms. This Pradyumna Mishra, he just wanted to hear about the Lord. He had attraction. And this is the great pearl, the great price Jesus was talking, this attraction. This is why the fishermen who became saints because of this attraction that was given through Jesus. They went from worshiping once a week to every day, like here. You notice? This is life. This is truth. The truth of ecstatic devotion, the truth of God and his real pastimes, his real truths, his real philosophy. So this is called worship. This is worship. We're meditating on the truth. So I wish to hear topics concerning Lord Krishna constantly. Be merciful unto me and kindly tell me something about Krishna. See, he's going to an authority. He didn't go to just anybody to be told about Krishna, right? He went to an authority. He went to Lord Caitanya. He went to God, actually. But God's going to teach him something. Teach the world something. These are all past, they're all very deep. Of course, he's having a lot of fun with his devotees. That's the main thing. He plays with his devotees, but his playing is very profound. It has deep meaning for us. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, I do not know about topics concerning Krishna. I think that only Ramananda Roy knows, for I hear these topics from him. See, Ramananda Roy was a Sudra. He didn't follow everything perfectly. Matter of fact, he was actually, he was a good person. He was, what do you call him? He was a government these activities really describe that much. Other than he wrote plays about Krishna, and he would actually direct the plays. And matter of fact, he went so far as he would have these beautiful women play like gopis, and he would instruct them how a gopi looks and all of that, get them almost like imitating the pictures, for the play, because he would play certain transcendental mellows. Oh, I don't know anything about Krishna. You should go and listen to Ramananda Roy. So that's the way the see who I'm going through.
More and more syllables are falling out. We don't understand anymore what you say.
Okay, am I coming through?
Yeah, but
hello.
A little bit difficult, and the picture is not good now. But
Here.
It always starts with one syllable, and then a little bit later two, and then it increases.
Can anybody hear me? Oh, okay, I think we're back. Are we back?
Yeah, we hear you.
I hear you.
We hear you.
Yeah. Okay, is it sort of frozen or not working? It's not working so good yet.
Seems like it's doing a little better now.
A bit better, yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll smooth out in a little bit. Yeah. The Lord said, go and listen to topics through Ramananda Roy, because he spoke. We need to hear from the really dear and intimate devotees of the Lord, because they know these secrets. So he told them, go to Prajna Mishra. Go to Ramananda Roy. So, Lalita, you take over.
Yeah, okay, Guru Maharaj. But
Can't hear you, Lalita. You're muted.
oh, sorry. Oh my God. Is it Caitanya Charitamrita or Caitanya Bhagavat? Because I couldn't
Caitanya
find.
Charitamrita.
And you said chapter 5, but there was another title than you said.
You have Caitanya Charitamrita?
Yeah. It's before my eyes. But
No,
what
okay. Caitanya? Chaitanya? Okay. Can you? Okay.
Can you repeat the chapter, please, Guru Maharaj? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Did you understand what chapter it was? Because Guru Maharaj says chapter 5, but that's another title. It's about Shiksha Gopal.
I'm not sure.
All right. I think. Oh, it's still. I'm going to go on my phone here. This thing here. Okay, it should be good now.
Okay, so what chapter? Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita. What chapter?
Okay, no, Ancha Lila, chapter 5.
I
Verse
understood wrong. Madhya Lila chapter. Okay. Is it verse 7?
6.
6. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, verse 6. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. I'm sorry. All glories to you and to the previous acharyas. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhara, Srivasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. I wish to hear topics concerning Sri Krishna constantly. Be merciful unto me and kindly tell me something about Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, I don't know. I don't know about topics concerning Lord Krishna. I think that only Ramananda Rai knows, for I hear these topics from him. It is your good fortune that you are inclined to hear topics regarding Krishna. The best course for you would be to go to Ramananda Roya and hear these topics from him. I see that you have acquired a taste for hearing talks regarding Krishna. Therefore, you are extremely fortunate. Not only you, but anyone who has awakened such a taste is considered most fortunate.
Can you imagine devotees go their whole lives and don't have this taste? I mean, real taste. Real taste, not not instant knowledge and to be a big scholar, no, but actual taste, attraction, feeling like this love for these pastimes and for this lore, beyond the mind and speculations. And the only way to get there is like this. You got to go to the rare devotees who are ecstatic devotees. They pass this ecstatic attraction on to you. There's no other way to get it. Otherwise, you're not in real Krishna consciousness yet. You're in some speculative version. You're just doing ceremonies and rules and regulations and external bhakti. This is it, man. This is all you need. This is why devotees on this stage here, which you get through by going through the door and meeting a bona fide rasic devotee, a real one, they draw you onto the spontaneous platform and you can abandon all varieties of religion. You see, they can't do it in the Narayan Raj group or the Radhakund Babajis. They can't bring them to the ecstatic platform. The rules are like all over them. I'm not saying not to follow rules. It's not about that. It's about, hey man, I got the shelter. This is the real thing. And you preach from that perspective. You think, hey man, you can become more free. You think the regulative principles of freedom are real freedom? No, this is the real freedom. They're all going to this place. See? And you attain that simply by hearing from an attracted devotee who has the symptoms of attraction. It's that simple. That is the narrow gate. That is the real path of Krishna consciousness. See? Cannot emphasize this enough. That's why the Lord said, you're very fortunate to have such attraction. Therefore, you go and listen to Ramananda Roy. Because if you want to even develop that attraction, you have to go to a devotee like that. Otherwise, it doesn't awaken or develop. So the next stage for Prabhupada and all of those groups that I mentioned is to come here and hear from devotees who laugh and cry and choke up when they chant the holy names of the Lord. And they have great relish for these pastimes and great understanding of these pastimes. They can point out what you can, 40 years, you can follow Acharya Dev or any of these guys and not understand just what I said in the last 2 minutes, much less these thousands of videos. This is the vast understanding that's right here. That it's so simple that even a bird can understand, but so profound. That's the way of Vrindavan. That's the way of God in his understanding. Deep. And then you come here, you listen, you get purified, you look over there, you see, wow, I was fooled. I was fooled by fools. I was believing in the blind. And the blind were believing they were, real leaders. Everybody's blind in this world. Until ecstatic worship like the Lord came to bring here, this is the truth of Kali Yuga. The greatest truth of all is just take shelter of the devotees who love Lord Chaitanya, because automatically you attain love for Radha and Krishna, as we prove here. Look at Lalita Ganga. She reads Govinda Lilamrita. Many devotees here. River, she reads also and gets ecstasy from that. This is big stuff. This is where it's all going. Yeah, regulative principles are difficult. They are difficult. They're only meant for a start. Just so you get some familiarity with Krishna, you get gives you some foothold. But ultimately, you got to get the mercy of the Kali Yuga avatar, which is not Vaidhi Bhakti. No, he came here to give spontaneous devotion. That's our work here. We're following in that level now. Go ahead there, Rita.
Yeah. A person who properly performs his regulative duties according to Varna and Ashrama, but does not develop his dormant attention to Krishna or awaken his taste to hear and chant about Krishna is certainly laboring fruitlessly.
Isn't that amazing? How you think I'm frank? He said this, right? He said, you're laboring fruitlessly. You're following your varnashram duties and everything, but you don't develop your dormant taste for hearing about Krishna. You're laboring fruitlessly. That's why you see. That's why thank you, Amy, for being part of this and coming here out of nowhere. You're developing your dormant taste for hearing topics of Krishna. See? And these persons are laboring fruitlessly if that's all they're doing. You haven't even followed these things, but it doesn't matter because you're doing the better path. Somehow or other, you're attracted to hearing. But they're just following they need to hear somebody say what the scriptures are saying. Hear what Lord Chaitanya, I'm just telling you what the Lord says and making it more vivid. Magnify, clarify. For you devotees, this should be humbling, man. You're laboring fruitlessly if that's all you're doing out there. That's all I see in the Narayan Raja. They're all just rules, regulations, and then thinking they're pure devotees, but they don't cry, they don't laugh, they don't have any of the symptoms of having the real mercy of Lord Chaitanya, like people here in this Sangha do. They're laboring now. Now it's time to know you're laboring fruitlessly if you don't take advantage of this. This is what the labor is meant to ultimately bring you to. Jesus said the same thing. He said, all your rules and following and fastings and studies is all led you to here, to come to the devotee. It's the same. Whatever you're doing in the world, if it brings you here, it's all meant where it's supposed to bring you. See, the door that leads to the spiritual world. When it's closed, it's closed. You can't get in. The devotee is the door. That's why they have to always be here. A living devotee has to be here. See? And so you either get it in this life or you bring it forth from another lifetime. Then you got to deal with all the Mayas trying to stop this from being revealed and manifested. That's what she does. It's like a machine, it's set up to make the living entities forget about Krishna. It's a jail place. It's a place of criminals, We're all criminals until we come and hear our way out. See, hear our way out. Here and here. You got to be in a particular place. So what do we got here going? I can't imagine having developed this deep attraction through anyone else but you because of the way your words and vibrations are like arrows of truth. Yeah, that's how it's set up,
Yeah.
And people got to know, if you don't come to this point, you're laboring fruitlessly, just doing rules, regulations, and studies and ceremony. It's so superficial. It's not transcendental yet. Of course, if you're a pure devotee, you're and you get stimulated by doing the deity worship and stuff. That's another thing. Some people, that's their natural thing to do the deity, and they get very ecstatic. Tears and all the symptoms will come. But in general, people get their neophytes. They get their start there.
Yeah, what Amy writes is what a lot of devotees experience, but are not always conscious of that, being attracted to your teachings and not knowing why, and still asking questions, why this, why do we need a bona fide spiritual master? But they come because unconsciously they know it, actually.
Yeah.
Deep in their heart, they know what she writes,
Yeah, like Sim asked a good question this morning.
Yeah.
In your class. Yeah, let's see. It was something like, what about people that are born? I've heard this one. This is the same question I hear all the time, Well, what about these people in the Eskimos? Who's going to give them the mercy and the... Well, that's just kind of how it is. It's whoever's under the rain cloud. See, that's why the devotees roam around to meet people. And whoever will take their association. But even a devotee on this planet, while they're chanting, their vibration is purifying the planet and the universe, actually. So that's how powerful what we're doing is chanting. So even an Eskimo will get some benefit. But of course, it's important to meet the devotees.
He needs to meet somebody who has it. Yeah, that's it. Always.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing what we can do here, and which luckily we got the internet. They could, if they wanted to, they could connect here through the internet. I haven't met many devotees here that are coming, and look at Amy. I never met her physically. See, so this is our main preaching, really, right now. So there's really no excuse. If you really want Krishna, you can hear. Otherwise, Kamsa, the hypocrites have dashed you to the ground. Those who say they represent Krishna but really don't. You got to, anyway. Well, whoever's meant to come in this wave, Krishna will send again. We're doing our work here. And Krishna will continue it as he continues it. Yeah, Prabhupada knew that. When he was ready to go, was it OBL Kapoor, a godbrother of his, said, your devotees, your leaders are not developing very Vaishnava qualities. They want name and fame and all this stuff. It's not really Vaishnava. What are you going to do? He says, well, hey, I did what I can do. I did an mission. I came here. I wrote the books. I did what I do, and Krishna will send somebody. It's progressive. That's why we're here. We're here to do our little, put our little 2 cents in here,
Next step.
which are more than a few pennies, actually. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, Pradyumna Mishra, being thus advised by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to the home of Ramananda Raya, and there the servant of Ramananda Raya gave him a proper place to sit down. Unable to see Ramananda Raya immediately, Pradyumna Mishra, he inquired from the servant, who then gave a description of Ramananda Raya. There are 2 dancing girls who are extremely beautiful. They are very youthful and they are expert in dancing and singing. Srila Ramananda Roy has taken these 2 girls to a solitary place in his garden where he's teaching and directing them to dance according to the songs he has composed for his drama. Please sit here and wait for a few moments. As soon as he comes, he will execute whatever order you give him. While Pradyumna Mishra remained seated there, Ramananda took the 2 girls to a solitary place. With his own hand, Sri Ramananda Raya massaged their bodies with oil and he bathed them with water. Indeed, Ramananda Raya, he cleans their entire bodies with his own hand. Although he dressed the 2 young girls and decorated their bodies with his own hand, he remained unchanged. Such is the mind of Ramananda Roy. While touching the young girls, he was like a person touching wood or stone, for his body and mind were unaffected. Srila Ramananda Rai used to act in that way because he thought of himself in his original position as a maidservant of the gopis. Thus, although externally he appeared to be a man, internally in his original spiritual position, he considered himself a maidservant and considered the 2 girls gopis. This of the the greatness of the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is exceedingly difficult to understand. Sri Ramananda Raya, how one can extend his ecstatic love to the extreme limit. Ramananda Raya, he directed the 2 girls how to dance and express the deep meaning of his songs through dramatic performances. He taught them how to express the symptoms of continuous natural and transitional ecstasies with the movement of their faces, their eyes, and the other parts of their bodies through the feminine poses and dances that were taught by Ramanujaraya. The two girls precisely exhibited all these expressions of ecstasy before Lord Jagannath. And then Ramanujaraya fed the two girls sumptuous prasada and he sent them to their homes unexposed. Every day he trained the two Devadasis how to dance. Who among the small living entities, their minds always absorbed in material sense gratification, could understand the mentality of Ramanatha Roya? And when the 70 formed Ramanatharaya of Pradyumna Mishra's arrival, Ramanatharaya immediately went to the assembly room. He offered his obeisances to Pradyumna Mishra with all respect, and then, with great humility, he spoke as follows: Sir, you came here long ago, but no one informed me. Therefore, I have certainly become an offender at your lotus feet. My entire home, my entire home has been purified by your arrival. Kindly order me. What can I do for you? I am your servant. Pradyumna Mishra replied, I came simply to see you. Now I have purified myself. Now I have purified myself by seeing your honor. Because Pradyumna Mishra saw that it was late, he didn't say anything else to Ramanatharaya. Instead, he took leave of him and he returned to his own home. The next day, when Pradyumna Mishra arrived in the presence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord inquired, have you heard talks about Krishna from Sri Ramanatharaya? Pradyumna Mishra thereupon described the activities of Sri Ramanatharaya. After hearing about these activities, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he began to speak. I am a sannyasi, he said, and I certainly consider myself renounced. But not to speak of seeing a woman, if I even hear the name of a woman, I feel changes in my mind and body. Therefore, who could remain unmoved by the sight of a woman? It is very difficult. Everyone, please hear these topics of order. Although they are so wonderful and uncommon that they should not be spoken. The two professional dancing girls, they are beautifully youthful. Yet, see, Ramanatharaya personally massages oil upon their bodies. He personally paints and dresses them and decorates them with ornaments. In this way, he naturally sees and touches the private parts of their bodies. Nevertheless, the mind the mind of Sri Ramanatharaya never changes. Although he teaches the girls how to physically express all the transformations of ecstasy. His mind his mind is as steady as wood or stone. Indeed, it is wonderful that even when he touches such young girls, his mind never changes. The authority for such acts is the prerogative of Ramanatharaya alone, for I can understand that his body is not material, but has been completely has been completely transformed into a spiritual entity. He alone and no one else can understand the position of his mind. I come and check because I see I'm all alone here. I thought you left or something was wrong, but I couldn't stop reading. I thought if everything is stopped, I keep on doing.
No. Everything's fine.
I need to continue then. I don't hear you.
You said you have to go to the toilet?
That also, but no.
Oh,
I will
okay.
continue. I will continue.
Continue. Just
But I can make a guess in terms of directions from the Shastra. Srimad Bhagavatam, the Vedic scriptures give the direct evidence in this matter. When one hears or describes with great faith the pastimes of Sri Krishna, such as his rasa dance with the gopis, the disease of lusty desires in his heart, and agitation caused by the three modes of material nature. they are immediately nullified and he becomes sober and silent. Tasting the transcendental effulgence. Sweetly ecstatic love of Krishna. Such a person can enjoy life 24 hours a day in the transcendental bliss of the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes. A transcendentally sober person who, with faith and love, continuously hears from a realized soul about the activities of Lord Krishna in his rasa dance with the gopis, or one who describes such activities can attain full transcendental devotional service at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, lusty material desires, which are the heart disease of all materialistic persons, they are find quickly and completely vanquished. If a transcendentally situated person following in the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami hears and speaks about the Rasa Leela dance of Krishna and is always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna while serving the Lord day and night within his mind. What shall I say about the result? It is so spiritually exalted that it cannot be expressed in words. Such a person is an eternally liberated associate of the Lord. His body is completely spiritualized. Although he is visible to material eyes, he is spiritually situated, and all his activities are spiritual. And by the will of Krishna, such a devotee is understood to possess a spiritual body. Srila Radharani is situated on the path to spontaneous love of Godhead. Srila Radharani is situated on the path of spontaneous love of Godhead. And therefore, he is in his spiritual body, and his mind is not materially affected. I also hear topics about Krishna from Ramananda. From Ramananda. If you want to hear such topics, go to him again. You can take my name before him, saying, he has sent me to hear about Lord Krishna from you. Go hastily while he is in the assembly room. Hearing this, Pradyumna Mishra immediately departed. Pradyumna Mishra went to Ramananda. Who offered him respectful obeisances and said, please order me. For what purpose have you come? Pradyumna Mishra answered, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has sent me to hear topics about Krishna from you. Hearing this, Ramananda Roya became absorbed in ecstatic love. Hearing this, Ramananda Roy became absorbed in ecstatic love. And he began to speak with great transcendental pleasure. Following the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have come to hear about Krishna. This is my great fortune. This is my great fortune. How else would I get such an opportunity? Saying this, Sri Ramananda took Pradyumna Mishra to a secluded place, and he inquired from him, what kind of Krishna Katha do you want to hear from me? Pradyumna Mishra replied, kindly tell me about the same topics you spoke about at Vijayanagara. You're an instructor, even for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not to speak of others. I'm but a beggar Brahmana, and you're my maintainer. I do not know how to inquire, for I do not know what is good and what is bad. Seek me to be poor in knowledge, kindly speak whatever is good for me by your own goodwill. And thereupon, Ramananda he gradually began speaking on topics of Krishna, and thus the ocean of the transcendental mellow of those topics became agitated. He began personally posing questions and then answering them with conclusive statements. When afternoon came, the topic still did not end. The speaker and listener spoke and heard. The speaker and listener spoken heard in ecstatic love. And as they forgot their bodily consciousness, how could they perceive the end of the day? The servant informed them the day had already ended, and then Ramanandaraya ended his discourses about Krishna. Ramanandaraya paid great respect to Pradyumna Mishra and bade him farewell. From whom Pradyumna Mishra said, "I become very satisfied." He then began to dance. After returning home, Pradyumna Mishra bathed and ate his meal. And in the evening,
I think we'll read the rest of that later. I gotta take care of some things here. My body, I gotta take care of myself. So we'll come back a little later. That was a great reading there, Lita.
Yeah.
You want to say anything about that before? You want to?
I feel the the relationship with Ramananda is deepened.
He's a very unique person.
Very moving.
Yeah, I mean, they seem so ordinary too. Just like ordinary persons. They can't believe it. Everybody in the world is trying to be something special. But the devotee of Lord Chaitanya and also Radha and Krishna and Vrindavan, the same devotees. They're so, it's like seems ordinary, just very regular. But they're not. They're very unique. Very unique. The best, the most conclusive understanding is in their mouths comes out. Yeah, it's very very unique. In that way.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. All right, so we'll be back in a little bit, and thank you for the great reading there.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, all glories. Thank you everybody for coming, and we'll be back in a little bit. Haribo.